Did you know the average American family wastes over $1,500 a year on groceries they don't even need? That's $1,500 gone because of items designed to rip you off. Today, I'm exposing 12 grocery store scams with markups as high as 4,000%. Grocery stores aren't your friend. They're profiting while you struggle. Don't be the person who ignores this and keeps wasting money. Hit subscribe and let's save your hard-earned cash. 1. Pre-cut fruits and vegetables. Let's talk about one of the biggest grocery store scams, pre-cut fruits and vegetables. Picture this. I walked into a grocery store last week and saw a container of pre-cut watermelon priced at $6.99. Right next to it, a whole watermelon for $3.99. Same watermelon, same taste, but double the price because someone spent 5 minutes cutting it up. This isn't a one-off thing, it's happening with every pre-cut fruit and vegetable in the store. Here's the kicker. You're paying an average of 40% more for the convenience of someone else using a knife. Grocery stores justify this by claiming it's about labor costs. But let's be real. The actual labor cost may be 30 cents per container. Yet they're charging you $3 to $4 extra because they know you're busy, tired, and willing to pay for convenience. And it doesn't stop there. Pre-cut produce loses nutrients the moment it's chopped, sits under harsh fluorescent lights, and often spoils faster than whole fruits and vegetables. So, not only are you overpaying, but you're also getting a product that's less fresh and less nutritious. Here's how you can outsmart this scam. First, dedicate 20 minutes on a Sunday to meal prep, grab a cutting board, throw on your favorite show, and chop up your fruits and veggies for the week. It's not just cost-effective, it's oddly satisfying and ensures you're eating fresher produce. If you're really pressed for time, head to the frozen section. Frozen fruits and vegetables are picked at peak ripeness, flash frozen to lock in nutrients, and pre-cut for your convenience. They cost about 60% less than fresh pre-cuts and last for months. Grocery stores hate this hack because it slashes their profit margins on one of their most overpriced items. 2. Bottled water. Bottled water is one of the most ridiculous grocery items you can buy, and here's why. You think you're paying for pure clean water, but what you're really getting is a plastic-filled scam. A recent study from Columbia University and Rutgers found that the average liter of bottled water contains 240,000 tiny pieces of plastic. That's nearly 250,000 plastic particles in every bottle you drink. And these aren't just big chunks of plastic you can see. Researchers have now detected nanoplastics, the tiniest particles which are even more harmful. Here's the horrifying part. These microplastics are showing up in human lungs, breast milk, and even placental tissue. That's right, we're literally feeding plastic to unborn babies. And the bottled water industry, they're laughing all the way to the bank. A $2 bottle of water costs them about 5 cents to produce. That's a 4,000% markup. Even worse, studies show that bottled water often contains higher concentrations of microplastics than tap water. So you're paying 40 times more for water that's actually worse for you. The solution is simple and affordable. Invest in a decent water filter for around $30 in a stainless steel bottle. Not only will you save hundreds of dollars a year, but you'll also avoid poisoning yourself with plastic. Bottled water is one of the biggest scams in the grocery store, and now you know how to beat it. 3. Fresh bakery items. The grocery store bakery, the place that smells like heaven and tempts you with cookies, muffins, and croissants. But here's a little secret. That mouth-watering smell might not even be real. Many major grocery chains use synthetic scent diffusers to pump artificial bakery aromas throughout the store. According to the Scent Marketing Institute, when the smell of fresh baked bread is artificially pumped into a store, bakery sales triple. That's right, they're literally hacking your brain to make you spend more money. But the manipulation doesn't stop there. Those fresh baked goods you're buying, they have a gross profit margin of nearly 60%. If you buy a $4 muffin, the store is pocketing about $2 and earn 40 tour profit. And they're able to do this because they've hijacked your sense of smell and created an emotional experience. Research shows that certain scents can make shoppers spend more time in a store and buy more items. Grocery stores aren't just selling you bread, they're selling you a feeling. Here's how to fight back. First, check out the clearance section. Many stores discount bakery items that are a day or two old, and they still taste just as good. You can often snag the same products for 50% off. Second, consider baking at home. A box of brownie mix costs around $2 and makes the same amount as a $12 tray from the baker. Plus, it's fun, and you can customize your treats however you like. Grocery stores are using psychological tricks to drain your wallet, but now you're armed with the knowledge to outsmart them. Don't let synthetic scents and overpriced muffins fool you. Save your money and bake your own treats. 4. Overpriced name brand spices. Let's talk about one of the most overpriced items in your grocery cart: name brand spices. Last week I picked up a tiny bottle of McCormick oregano barely bigger than my thumb for $3. Then I stopped by a local Indian grocery store and found the same amount of oregano for just $3. That's not a typo. That's nearly a 1,000% markup for the exact same product. Here's the dirty little secret about those name brand spices sitting on grocery store shelves. They're not just overpriced, they're old. Most of those pretty little bottles have been sitting there for months, sometimes even years. By the time you buy them, they've already lost most of their flavor and potency. You're essentially paying a premium for stale, colored dust. Meanwhile, ethnic markets and bulk stores are selling fresher, higher quality spices for a fraction of the price. These stores move inventory so quickly that their spices are often imported just weeks before hitting the shelves, not years. The spice industry is a $28 billion market, and grocery stores are cashing in by selling you the oldest, most overpriced versions of these products. And it's only getting worse. The global spice market is expected to double in value by 2032. But grocery stores are still pushing these ancient, overpriced bottles because they know most people don't know any better. Here's how to beat them at their own game. Skip the spice aisle at your regular grocery store and head to an ethnic market: Indian, Middle Eastern, Asian, you name it. These stores offer fresher spices at a fraction of the cost. Whenever possible, buy whole spices instead of pre-ground ones. Whole spices last longer, taste better, and give you more bang for your buck. If you want to take it a step further, buy in bulk and store your spices in airtight containers to keep them fresh. That $3 bottle of oregano, you can get enough to last you a year for the same price at the right store. Stop overpaying for stale spices and start shopping smarter. 5. The organic overcharge. The organic food industry is one of the biggest moneymakers in grocery stores today, raking in over $52 billion annually. But here's the thing: most people buying organic have no idea when it actually matters and when they're just throwing money away. Grocery stores are charging you a 20% premium on average for that little green sticker, and in many cases it's completely unnecessary. Let me break it down for you. The Environmental Working Group releases a Dirty Dozen list every year, highlighting the fruits and vegetables most contaminated with pesticides. In 2024, they found that 95% of the items on the Dirty Dozen list were coated with pesticides, with some containing over 50 different chemicals. Strawberries, for example, were found to have up to 23 different pesticides, even after washing. That's not food, that's a science experiment. But here's where it gets interesting. The same study also identified a clean 15 list: fruits and vegetables with little to no pesticide residue. Nearly 65% of these items had no detectable pesticides at all. So when you're paying extra for organic avocados or sweet corn, you're literally paying a premium for nothing. Conventional versions of these items are just as safe, and in some cases, even better. The most shocking part: many of the chemicals found on the Dirty Dozen are fungicides applied after harvest to make produce look prettier on store shelves. These aren't even helping the plants grow, they're purely cosmetic. And some of these fungicides are known to disrupt human hormone systems, potentially affecting your thyroid and reproductive health. Here's how to shop smarter. Only buy organic for the Dirty Dozen items like strawberries, spinach, and kale, where it actually makes a difference for your health. For clean 15 items like avocados, pineapples, and sweet corn, stick to conventional and save your money. This simple strategy can cut your organic grocery bill in half, while still protecting your family from harmful chemicals. Don't let grocery stores guilt you into overspending on organic. Know when it matters and when it doesn't. 6. Single-serve snack scams. Single-serve snacks are one of the biggest ripoffs in the grocery store, and they're draining your wallet faster than you realize. Last week, I watched a mom at the checkout line with a cart full of those tiny snack packs, mini bags of chips, single-serve Oreos, little goldfish crackers. Her total for snacks alone, $47. When I got home, I did the math. If she had bought the same snacks in bulk, she would have spent just $18. That's a 61% markup for the convenience of pre-portioned snacks. Here's the thing: the snack industry is a $69 billion market, and it's growing every year. Companies are banking on the fact that you won't take 2 minutes to portion out snacks yourself. They know you're busy, and they're exploiting that by charging you outrageous prices for tiny bags of food. A box of individual goldfish packs costs about $8.99 for maybe 10 ounces of crackers. Meanwhile, a family-size bag of the same brand costs $4.49 for 30 ounces. You're paying nearly 600% more per ounce just because someone else put it in smaller bags. And it's not just crackers. Those little pretzel packs you throw in lunchboxes, you're paying $1.25 for what amounts to 15 cents worth of pretzels from a bulk container. It's highway robbery, and most families don't even realize how much they're overspending. Here's how to stop the madness. Invest in a $5 set of reusable containers and buy snacks in bulk. Spend 5 minutes portioning them out yourself, and you'll save hundreds of dollars a year. The average family buying single-serve snacks is throwing away over $800 annually compared to buying in bulk. That's money you could be using for a car payment, a vacation, or literally anything else. Don't let snack companies treat you like you're too lazy to count crackers. Take back control of your grocery budget and stop falling for this overpriced convenience trap. 7. The pre-marinated meat trap. Picture this. You're strolling through the meat aisle, and your eyes catch those glossy packages of pre-marinated chicken. Honey garlic glazed reads one label, while another promises teriyaki paradise. They look so convenient, so professional, and yet so overpriced. What you might not realize is that these pre-marinated meats come with a hefty markup up to 60% more than plain, unseasoned chicken. Let's break it down. A pound of regular chicken breast might cost you $4. That same chicken, now drenched in a marinade that costs pennies to make, suddenly jumps to $7.99. You're paying an extra $3 for someone to pour sauce on your meat. But the problem doesn't stop at the price. These pre-marinated meats are often loaded with sodium, sometimes over 800 milligallers per serving. That's more than a third of your daily recommended sodium intake in just one piece of chicken. Why so much sodium? It's cheap, it preserves the meat, and it enhances flavor, making you crave more. It's a win-win for grocery stores and a lose-lose for your wallet and health. With beef prices expected to stay high until at least mid-2025 due to droughts and rising costs, you'd think we'd be more cautious about where our meat dollars go. Yet, the processed meat industry is thriving, with the North American fresh processed meat market projected to grow from $125 billion in 2023 to $145 billion by 2032. They're cashing in while we're getting ripped off. Here's the solution. Make your own marinade. It takes 5 minutes. Grab some olive oil, garlic, herbs, and a splash of soy sauce or lemon juice. Toss your meat in a bag with the marinade, and you're done. You've saved money, reduced your sodium intake, and created something that tastes better than anything pre-packaged. Next time you see those shiny marinated packages, remember you're not paying for convenience, you're paying a convenience tax, and you're smarter than that. 8. The superfood scam. Imagine walking down the health food aisle where tiny packages with words like superfood and ancient wisdom scream for your attention. A small bag of goji berries costs $12, while a pouch of acai powder is priced at $8. The marketing is genius, making you think these foods are nutritional miracles worth every penny. But here's the truth. The term superfood is pure marketing. The FDA doesn't even recognize it as a legitimate classification. Companies can slap the word on anything and charge triple the price. Let's talk numbers. That 8-ounce bag of organic goji berries for $12, that's over $25 per pound. Meanwhile, regular blueberries, which are packed with antioxidants, cost about $4 per pound. The same goes for blackberries, strawberries, and even frozen mixed berries. The nutritional difference, minimal. The price difference, astronomical. The rise of the superfood trend isn't because these foods suddenly became healthier. It's because marketing budgets exploded. Goji berries, for instance, have been a staple in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries. In China, they're just regular berries, sold cheaply in local markets. But slap a fancy label on them, and suddenly they're worth their weight in gold. Here's the kicker. The real superfoods are the everyday fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and grains you can find in any grocery store. They're affordable, nutritious, and don't come with inflated price tags. Studies have shown that goji berries may have health benefits, like helping the body kill cancer cells in lab settings. But guess what? So do regular berries, leafy greens, and dozens of other common foods. The next time you're tempted by a tiny, overpriced package of superfood, remember that you're paying for marketing, not magic. Stick to regular fruits and veggies. They've been feeding families for generations without the hype or the premium price. 9. The energy drink and fancy coffee. It's Monday morning, and you're dragging yourself through the grocery store, barely awake. You grab a Monster energy drink for $3, then swing by Starbucks for a $5 cold brew. Before 9 a.m., you've already spent $8. Now let's do some math. If you buy one energy drink and one fancy coffee 3 times a week, that's $25.50 per week. Multiply that by 52 weeks, and you're spending $1,326 a year. But the financial hit is just the beginning. That Monster energy drink, it contains up to 20 teaspoons of sugar, 78 grams in one can. For context, the recommended daily sugar intake is 24 grams for women and 36 grams for men. One drink exceeds your daily limit threefold. And don't be fooled by the natural caffeine and vitamins on the label. These are sugar bombs disguised as wellness products. Part of a $22 billion industry that's betting on your morning brain fog to keep you buying. Now let's talk about your fancy coffee habit. A Starbucks cold brew starts at $4, but the nitro version can hit $5 or more. For comparison, a 40-ounce container of ground coffee costs about $10 and makes 100 cups. That's 10 cents per cup versus $5 per cup, a 5,000% markup. The health risks are just as alarming. High sugar drinks contribute to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and even gout. You're literally paying premium prices to harm your health. I had a friend who spent $15 a day on energy drinks and coffee shop visits. That's over $5,000 a year, enough to buy a used car. Here's your wake-up call. Make your coffee at home. Cold brew takes 5 minutes to prep. Just mix coffee grounds with cold water and let it sit overnight. Need energy? Try green tea with a splash of lemon, or, better yet, get more sleep and drink water. Want caffeine without the sugar crash? Invest in a good coffee maker. The energy drink and fancy coffee industries are counting on you not doing the math. Don't let them win. 10. The pre-seasoned meat illusion. Let's talk about those pre-seasoned meats that seem to call your name as you rush through the grocery store. You're tired, it's late, and there they are, perfectly marinated chicken thighs in a glossy package, promising flavors like Hawaiian teriyaki or garlic herb bliss. Right next to them, the plain chicken thighs sit quietly, looking well plain. The pre-seasoned ones are just a few dollars more, and you think, why not? But here's the truth. Those pre-seasoned meats are one of the biggest ripoffs in the meat department. First, let's talk about the price. Grocery stores slap a markup of up to 60% on pre-seasoned meats compared to their plain counterparts. That's right, you're paying a premium for a marinade that costs the store mere pennies to make. For example, plain chicken breasts might cost $4.99 per pound, but the same chicken, now coated in a teriyaki glaze, jumps to $7.99 per pound. That's an extra $3 for what amounts to a few spoonfuls of sauce. But the real kicker isn't just the price, it's what's in that marinade. Most store-bought marinades are loaded with sodium, often exceeding 800 milligrams per serving. That's more than a third of your daily recommended sodium intake in just one piece of meat. And it doesn't stop there. Many of these marinades are packed with artificial preservatives, color enhancers, and other chemicals designed to make the meat look fresher than it actually is. In fact, grocery stores often use pre-seasoned options to disguise meat that's nearing its sell-by date. The strong flavors and bright colors mask any changes in appearance or smell, tricking you into thinking you're buying something fresh. Here's the good news. Making your own marinade is ridiculously easy and takes less than 5 minutes. A simple mix of olive oil, soy sauce, garlic, and a touch of honey or lemon juice can transform your meat into something far tastier and healthier than anything pre-packaged. Plus, you control the ingredients, no excessive sodium, no artificial colors, no mystery chemicals. I started making my own marinades a while back, and not only did my grocery bill drop by about $40 a month, but my meals also started tasting better. So the next time you're tempted by those pre-seasoned meats, take a moment to compare the price per pound. Is it really worth paying 60% more for something you can do yourself in minutes? Trust me, your wallet and your taste buds will thank you. 11. The individual yogurt cup. Let's move to the dairy aisle. where one of the sneakiest grocery store scams is hiding in plain sight: individual yogurt cups. They're small, convenient, and come in a variety of flavors that make them hard to resist. But here's the thing: those tiny cups are costing you way more than you realize. Let's break it down. A 6-pack of individual Greek yogurt cups might cost you $8. Compare that to a large container of the exact same yogurt, which costs around $4.50 per pound. That's a markup of more than 200% for the convenience of having someone else portion it out for you. If you eat one yogurt cup a day, you're spending an extra $300 a year compared to buying a large container and portioning it yourself. That's $300 you could use for a weekend getaway, a new gadget, or literally anything more worthwhile than pre-portioned dairy. And it's not just your wallet that's taking a hit. Individual yogurt cups are also terrible for the environment. Each cup creates about 6 times more packaging waste than scooping from a large container. If sustainability matters to you, this is a no-brainer. Bigger containers mean less waste, and you can even reuse small glass jars or containers to portion out your yogurt at home. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about portion control? Here's the thing: if you can't control yourself around a large container of yogurt, the problem isn't the container size. You can easily buy small reusable containers for a couple of bucks and portion out your yogurt for the week. It's not rocket science, and it'll save you hundreds of dollars in the long run. So here's your game plan: skip the individual cups, buy the large container, and invest in some small reusable jars. Not only will you save money and reduce waste, but you'll also likely get fresher yogurt, since large containers tend to have higher turnover rates. Trust me, once you make the switch, you'll wonder why you ever paid extra for those tiny overpriced cups. 12. The specialty diet food deception. Finally, let's talk about one of the most infuriating grocery store scams: specialty diet foods. These are the products with labels screaming keto-friendly, paleo-approved, or whole. They're often found in the health food section, looking sleek and premium, and they come with price tags to match. A box of keto granola bars for $12, paleo crackers for $9.99, or Whole30 marinara sauce for $7. It's enough to make you think these foods are made of gold. But here's the truth: these products are just regular foods with fancy labels and inflated prices. Take keto peanut butter for example. I recently saw a jar priced at $11. The ingredients: peanuts and salt. That's it. The exact same ingredients as a $3.50 jar of regular peanut butter. The only difference: the word keto on the label. The same goes for paleo crackers made from almond flour and sea salt. You can make them at home for a fraction of the price, but because there's a caveman on the box, they're suddenly worth The diet food industry thrives on buzzwords and consumer confusion. They know that people trying to follow specific diets are willing to pay a premium for convenience and perceived health benefit. But here's the thing: most of these diets, like keto and paleo, are based on eating whole, unprocessed foods. You don't need specialty products to follow them. Regular eggs, meat, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds are naturally compliant with these diets, and cost a lot less than their diet-approved counterparts. So the next time you're tempted by a box of keto granola bars or paleo crackers, take a moment to read the ingredient. Chances are you can make the same thing at home for a fraction of the cost. Better yet, stick to whole, unprocessed foods that don't need fancy labels to prove their worth. Your wallet will thank you, and so will your body. In conclusion, grocery stores are masters of marketing, and they're counting on you to fall for their tricks. From overpriced pre-marinated meats and tiny yogurt cups to flashy superfood labels and specialty diet scams, these items are designed to drain your wallet while offering little to no added value. The truth is, most of these so-called convenient or premium products are nothing more than clever packaging and inflated prices. But here's the good news: you're smarter than that. With a little awareness and a few extra minutes of effort, you can avoid these traps, save hundreds if not thousands of dollars a year, and make healthier, more sustainable choices. Whether it's mixing your own marinade, buying yogurt in bulk, or skipping the diet buzzwords, small changes can lead to big savings and better quality food on your table. So the next time you're at the grocery store, take a moment to think before you grab that shiny, overpriced packet. Do the math, read the labels, and ask yourself, is this really worth it? Because at the end of the day, the smartest shoppers are the ones who see through the hype and make choices that benefit their wallets, their health, and the planet. Don't let the grocery store win. Shop smarter, eat better, and keep your hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket.